and I got this notebook. So for a compilation, I'll be editing some of my older works, like this one, into like the list of prompts provided by Inktober, because it is not humanly possible to draw every day since I do have 2 jobs. And I'll just show one I did plein air. This was the first one of this notebook. So there was like a log here. And for tantric practitioners, you know, when you see a log next to the water. Yeah, and then some people came to smoke weed, so I had to go. I'm like, not here for that. And then here is Rudranath. He is a great Indian guru. Contemporary one. He does lives, and he had like 200 people at his live today. 200 plus. Hopefully I can meet him one day. So he is like traveling in between India and Nepal, and he does have like a book for 499 rupees, which is around, divided by like $5. So I haven't read it yet, but then I've added some Nepali architecture as well. And thoughts and prayers to those in Ladakh. We are very saddened by their demise. I hope there can be some kind of socio-political solution to this unrest. Yeah, it's so heavy, some of these events. They do reflect on our fragility, but also our resilience as a population. So yeah, at work, like because of the nature of the things I'm selling, like people feel very comfortable being vulnerable with me, which I'm honored in a way, because I think on your path, or on anyone's path to become like a good practitioner of these traditions, it is helpful when people trust you. But then like there is this tendency, oh, we've got 2 viewers. There is this tendency where the people really feel they can talk about their issues, which I've also done. Like I've probably talked about those things with others who weren't in the role to discuss at that time. But then now it's getting a little bit too frequent, maybe because like in the US, like everyone's just kind of shell-shocked and they don't really know where's the line. And personally, I found my own line, which is I just don't go there. But then I think because of the nature of a lot of other people's work or their own socioeconomic conditions, they feel the need to just live out like a gori. Like they don't have houses. So then whatever they show in the public, like if they don't wear clothes, then that's who they are. Naga sadhus, that's who they are. And it is interesting. In the US, there are also people who live like that. Like they feel that everything that they experience can be shared, which I admire. I feel like in a way, everyone is evolving to that point because of social media as well, that if there are people who are live streaming 30 plus days, 50 plus days, I show speed, shout out, then that means we are automatically included in their lives and their emotions. And then so where do we actually stop sharing the emotions? Because I was just chilling at the lake, and then this person, this live streamer, just shows up on his unicycle with a camera. And there were drones also at the lake. And I was not informed that there would be cameras, even though everyone else also had a camera. But then there were people who had drones, and there were people who had like motorized vehicles to just run around. And it was actually kind of tricky because it was a very narrow dock. So if he wasn't really great on the unicycle, he could have like fell into the water or pushed somebody else into the water. But at this point, for content, everyone's just kind of going for it. And I don't know how they balance their inner and outer world, which is the purpose of this live today. If any of you have any idea how these people do it, how they manage, leave a comment. Someone says social media is low-key king for real. Unicycle and drone sounds insane. Yeah, like where do these people get the budget or permission? There was actually a ban sign saying that you cannot have motorized vehicles, but then he just winged it, I think. He was a he, yeah. And it's fine if you're doing it in your car, because I know people who just record from driving or like serving. That's another thing. I feel that there's a lot of flack for people who drive for themselves. But then if you think about it nowadays, if you're just existing, everyone's somehow in each other's space, but then only certain people are getting held responsible for accidents or yeah, it's like a lot of luck is involved. That's the theme I'm also thinking of, like how lucky I am to be alive today, given how ignorant I was in the past. And how we are going to move forward with all this like visibility, but also the need to like think for the next generation. Oh my gosh, are they overexposed to cyber technology? And so one last story I'll share before signing off is that like a person who I met through Buddhism reached out to me, and they were really concerned about their status within the rank and file. And first of all, there is no official rank and file for people who have not entered monkhood or nunhood. That's my understanding, first of all. So that person was not a nun, but they still felt the need to have a title, and they wanted to get that title through having a relationship. And I tried to point out to this person that that's not how those things happen. And even if it were even if it were to happen that way, then there's nothing to stress about, because then it would just happen for you if that is how you think it should be, right? Like if you think that is the way you will attain a certain title, then why do you have to expect others to join in like a witness protection program? Because it is not as difficult as some people imagine it to be. Like to attain that level of fame, it's not that difficult. But then I think some people put Buddhism on a pedestal, and they think, oh, if you're at that position, it must mean that you had a kind of notoriety or special ability. I don't think it's like that, first of all. Okay, that's like the first part. I'm just trying to unpack all of this because we stopped talking after they just like, whoa, like came up to me with this information. And then the second part was that she felt that she was being used by said organization, which I actually never visited in person. I have like glimpses of them through the internet, but like I've never seen anyone other than this person. So she's kind of feeling insecure from this group, and she wants some kind of emotional support. So I was trying to give her emotional support, but then at some point it got racial. So she kind of did the race card, and then I'm just rolling my eyes. And then we just had to end the conversation because she was busy and involved in another activity. And so the third part was that I just respected her because she was older than me. And then I realized, oh, like you don't actually get wiser even if you're older, especially in this realm, because sometimes when you're older, you just get bitter. And there's just so much backlog that you have to work with. And I don't want to discourage any older people who want to practice Buddhism or Hinduism. Like, I'm sure there are plenty of very advanced older generations. But there does seem to be like a very sharp disagreement in this realm. And I just want to put that out there. And I'm not like armed with any solutions except for I really want to stop using live stream, but this is the last one if I do stop. Okay. Clay's cause says, I assume you are looking at the camera going to... No, I'm just thinking back to all the things because I was so worried for one of the participants at this event that this person was participating in. I almost could not sleep because of the way she just assumed that we were all in on it. Like we were all in on this plan to get her into a relationship with another person and because of our race. And so I'm Asian, if you didn't know. And the only context where that would happen would be like under communism. Which we are not in the United States in the 21st century, fortunately. Asians do not set up other people to get married to them. Thank you very much for listening, and shout out to Lincoln Park. I am not 67. Where do you live? Always curious when they talk about what they see. Here in Dallas, taking a break from driving Lyft. Yeah, so I live in a similar situation like Dallas. So I have never visited Dallas, but I do think that there is a blasé feel of anyone who's not in the bi-coastal area. Like we just take our peace for granted. And then if you live on the bi-coastal, like if you are invested in stocks, or you are like meeting, I don't know, delegates from the Israel-Palestine conflict, then yeah, like you would not be thinking about what the Asians are doing. But I think because I live in a place where there are not that many Asians, so then like the few that are active in our circle kind of get put on a pedestal. So I think that is another reason. I don't want to blame this person too much for being like, I don't know, putting herself in the middle of things, because it does have an impact. If you do meet a lot of Asians on a daily basis, then you won't feel like, oh, this is like a conspiracy. So yeah, so fortunate this person that I was worried about was okay, a-okay. Nothing happened to them, fortunately, and they are safe and sound, and they are a monk still practicing, and I hope everyone takes care. And yeah, good night.